Good evening, viewers, future survivors, and fellow meatbags. My name is Joe, and I am a weapon of mass instruction. First off, I want to apologize, alright? I know I promised all of you some range time, a little bit of me shooting my Versa Thunder 380cc at the range. I went and did that, and I recorded it, but I don't know why, but the video cut out the audio after about a minute. I wasn't even actually to the point where I was shooting yet. I was still talking about stupid crap. But the audio cut out. I don't know if it's a safety in the phone, too many decibels on the range freaking did the trick, or whether it was just some random glitch, but I went through 50 rounds of ammunition like that, and with nothing to show for it. If anybody wants to speak up and say, hey, I want to see range time anyway, even though it's all silent, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. Alright, but there will be range time in the future. I can't promise when. I'm going to try again with the phone, and hopefully if I get the help of a cameraman or whoever to stand behind me, hopefully the decibels won't be too bad. But anyway, I digress. Tonight I'm going to be talking about your double taps. Alright, everybody's seen it in Zombieland. They talk about it, I think it was rule number 2, always double tap. But no, in all seriousness, you see it in movies, you hear about it, you read about it, but nobody really explains why you should double tap. And first off, I'm going to go over a couple of terms. And before I do anything stupid, I'm going to go ahead and clear my firearm, make sure there's nothing in the chamber, and no possible way for this sucker to go off unless I'm ready for it. First off, there's 2 types of double taps. Alright, you've got your controlled pair and your hammered pair. I'll cover both of those in a little bit of detail. Why would you need to double tap? Well, it really comes down to how much stopping power does your gun really give you. In the case of something small, like a 380, this is a little pocket pistol. This is a concealed carry pistol. There's guys out there, a guy named Nothing Fancy goes over like a whole lot of stuff to consider when you're buying your carry pistol, and he makes some valid points. I go with the 380 because, well, it was available, it was cheap, it's reliable, and it's a concealed carry pistol. It's made for your pocket. But because the rounds are so small, you really don't have a lot of stopping power available. I believe recently I also talked about the benefits of hollow point versus FMJ ammunition, and you can buy some other stuff out there. There's like wad cutters, and then there's plus P ammunition where there's extra gunpowder in the shell. And there's all sorts of little nifty things like that. But in the end, you're still dealing with a 380. It's not going to blow somebody away, you know. Enough rounds will do the trick. So that's why you would do a double tap. You would execute a double tap because the gun itself doesn't always have enough stopping power to do the job in one bullet. And you know, and you really just want to make sure the job gets done properly, whatever the job may be. And, of course, a disclaimer again, I'm talking to the people who want to defend their homes or the police officers who want to defend themselves should a suspect or perpetrator or whoever draw and fire on them. Anybody who wants to defend themselves properly. This is not for the people who want to bust into houses and do crazy, all sorts of, like, bad shit, okay? Alright, and here's what a double tap does, okay? Basically, when you shoot somebody, you have, of course, the bullet entering the body, and then hopefully exiting the body, because an exit wound produces a whole lot more trauma and bleeding and nasty shit than the entrance wound does. Generally, entrance wounds tend to suck up and close, which means that they'll bleed, but not a whole lot. The exit wound is going to be usually a bit bigger, if there is one, and it's going to have a lot more bleeding and stuff. A lot of rounds out there, I haven't looked up the actual ballistic physics that go into like a 380 per se, but a lot of rounds out there, the bullets will actually start to tumble as they enter the body, okay? And you hear people talk about tumbling. That's what tumbling is, okay? Some bullets will go straight through like a freaking laser beam. Some bullets will actually they'll all slow down. But some bullets will actually slow, and their trajectory will get all sorts of jacked up as it enters the body and start to flip end over end. And where it flips sideways, those little pockets that form are going to be heavier bleeding than when it's straight and narrow. if that makes sense. A wider hole in a human body is going to cause more damage. So the wider a bullet is to start with, yeah, the more damage you're going to get. You're also looking at the side effects, okay? You're going to have a shock wave, basically, come out from the point of impact and spread across, all right? And it's the same as if you throw a rock or a pebble into a pond. I'm sure everybody's done that in the past. You throw one out there and bloop, makes a splash, and what happens? All right, you see ripples coming out from the splash point until they all dissipate and fade away and the water becomes calm again. That's exactly what happens to the human body, because think about it, we're 60% water. Ballistic gel, you see that like jiggle and quiver when somebody shoots that in slow motion? Exactly the same thing happening, all right? Now picture this. You throw two rocks into the pond, all right, a couple feet apart, same time, or one after the other. What happens? Ripples come out from each one, and what happens where they meet? The water gets all choppy, right? Again, same thing happens in the human body. This is called hydrostatic shock, if I remember correctly, all right? And basically, what you have is not only the entrance and exit wounds from your individual shots, but if executed in quick succession and still accurately, those two shots together are going to cause that severe, trembling and hemorrhage, and basically your organs get shocked into shutting down. And that's what does the real damage when it comes to smaller calibers like the 380 and the 9mm, 32s, 25s, 22 even, all right? Kel-Tec PMR, 22 Magnum. Doesn't look like a whole lot. It's probably not going to kick a whole lot. I've never had a chance to actually shoot one. But you're at close range, you're looking at a lot of hurting. You really are, because something that small isn't going to kick. Pop, 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 pop. You can just pop rounds into somebody all day until they go down, all right? And that's the objective here. But the reason to execute a hammer pair instead of just popping rounds off until the guy goes down is to control your ammunition. All right, and that's another key. With a small pistol like this, I only have 7 rounds to go with. 8 if I want to power up and freaking drop one extra in the chamber. I load hot anyway, so I might as well do that. So there you go. You only have 7 or 8 rounds to work with, maybe 12 if you're carrying like a concealed carry Glock or something like that. But not a whole lot. If you got a spare magazine with you, that's going to be, twice as many, but still not a whole lot. You're not looking at this along the lines of like an assault rifle, like an AR-15, holds 30 rounds, plus extra magazines, Now, that's why you do it and what it does, all right? Now, here's the proper execution of your double taps, all right? First, I'll go over your controlled pair, all right? Basically, a controlled pair is exactly as the name implies. It's 2 sight alignments and sight pictures, all right? I'm going to shorten that to sight picture. You're going to get 2 flash sight pictures and 2 shots, all right? So basically the way it works is you get your sight picture, take your shot, all right? The weapon fires, recoils, and as you release, remember that slow, gentle squeeze, surprise, hold, ease, clunk, all right? You get that ease, clunk, and squeeze again, all right? But the trick is you get that sight picture for that next shot. And if you practice with this and you get it right, you can execute those within a second of each other, which is what you aim for, okay? Within a second of each other will cause that hydrostatic shock. Anything outside of that is not guaranteed to cause that, all right? So that's your controlled pair. It is primarily used at longer ranges, all right, because you're not going to be able to control how bad your body reacts to the recoil, especially at longer ranges, okay? So even something as small as a 380, you're still going to feel some recoil. Actually, in most cases, even more than a 9mm, all right? So you got to take your time, all right? After that recoil hits you, bring that gun down, get that sight picture, squeeze again. But if you've practiced to the point where you can ease off just enough to where the trigger resets, it'll be a lot quicker and easier to obtain that target and fire again. And that's good. I'd say with a pistol, you're looking at ranges of, say 10 yards and out. All right, that's just a rough estimate. You're not really going to see that too much in home defense unless you live in a gymnasium. Not a lot of people do that, do they? In home defense, you're looking at more along the lines of a hammered pair. All right, and a hammered pair is 1 sight picture, 2 shots. And that's what you really see in the movies, okay? Basically, and I'm not going to be able to execute this properly and show you how fast it's supposed to be because this pistol will revert to double action without ammo in there. All right, but basically, your hammered pair is your one sight picture. All right, and that's pretty much what it's going to look like. You're not going to take time for that second sight alignment sight picture. I know I clicked with that long reset, but you get the idea. When you're loaded, it's going to react quick. It's going to react quick. It's going to be loaded, ready for the next shot. And you can get, with practice, 2 shots off in a quarter of a second, impacting on the torso, and that will cause some severe damage. Basically, a rough estimate would be about 4 times the amount of damage as one bullet of that caliber would cause. All right. That's basically the stats given to me by my instructors in the Marine Corps. That is Marine Corps training, all right? And it was originally designed and told to us because the 5.56 millimeter ammunition used in M16s, M4s, and civilian AR-15s, yes, 223, but it's interchangeable, does not in itself cause lethal shots all the time, all right? But they gave us plenty of ammunition. They basically said instead of firing 1 shot at a guy at close range, make sure he goes down, fire 2 shots, and you're going to do it well. All right, and that's why you would want to do a hammered pair or a controlled pair. All right, again, lots more damage than just 1 shot would do. A better guarantee of taking down your attacker or assaulter. And it's a whole lot more manageable than unloading the whole magazine at them all in one go. Next week, or whenever I get to it, I'll talk about some other stuff in detail, like I'm thinking failure to stop drills, Mozambique drills, and box drills. I'll get into that next time. But for now, focus on your fundamentals. You build up on those, you can get into stuff like your control pairs, hammer pairs. I actually did a little bit of that at the range I wanted to show you guys, but it didn't work out. I'm probably going to have to buy myself a camera before I'm able to actually give you range time. So I want to apologize again for that. But it is what it is, and hopefully you got a little bit more knowledge and hopefully a little bit more experience from tonight's episode. All right, go ahead and tell your friends about this. I've been getting a couple of viewers, and go ahead and subscribe. I mean, it's just pretty much 1 click, and I don't have a set schedule, so you might as well, just so you can catch my episodes whenever they pop up. Go ahead and leave me a comment, all right? Talk about anything you want to, whether it pertains to tonight's episode, whether you got questions, whether you want to dispute something I say. By all means, I'm up for constructive criticism because there's a whole lot I learned that may not apply in all situations, or there may be a better way to do it. And I'm definitely willing to listen and learn and find out how to be more effective in defending myself, my home, my loved ones, my family, all of them, all right? Thanks again for watching. Again, my name is Joe, and I'm a weapon of mass instruction, and I'll see you next time.